Don't sneak up on me like that. Okay. From station WDWL TV, located on Grumpy Vulture Boulevard. A division of Grumpy Vulture Productions. Now, live from Studio B, it's me, the Grumpy Old Man. Hello, friends. How are we doing today? Grumpy had somewhat of an interesting day. And it started out when I received the mail. Now, I get mail every day, okay? But I had ordered a set of spark plugs for the shitbox. Considering that I found out that my 97 Nissan pickup basically still has the original factory spark plugs after 27 years. I stay in contact with the owner, who basically was the second owner. The first owner being her mother. It's always been a Northeastern Ohio vehicle. And the interesting thing, her mother, let me turn this down just a touch. Her mother never in her life drove a vehicle with an automatic transmission. And her mother was also one for no frills. So this truck is a bare bones, what they would call back in my day, strip out. No, whatever it came with from the factory, that's it. And, little interesting fact, even though her mother smoked, she smoked, and of course, Grumpy smokes, there was something about never using the ashtray. And I continued to honor her mother's request. When you open that ashtray, it's as spotless as the day the truck left the factory. I have some little tools, some Allen wrenches and stuff. It has never seen a cigarette ash. Never. And I'm going to leave it that way. So, discovering this thing's got 27-year-old spark plugs, I decide time to replace them. Now, I went on eBay, my favorite place for auto parts. Mainly because I can't afford to buy auto parts at a parts store. I called 2 different parts stores looking for spark plugs for the shitbox. Now, it only takes 4. Okay? Prices for 4 spark plugs between $35 and $40 for spark plugs for a 27-year-old vehicle. Not these fancy schmancy iridium, titanium, gold-plated spark plugs that the vehicles take today. No, just so the package arrives today. Now, the place where I got these spark plugs is a licensed Nissan foreign parts auto parts seller. Licensed by Nissan. So I opened the package. Now, I only paid $14.95 plus tax and free shipping. And I look in, and I was like, shit. They sent me the wrong plugs. Because in this envelope are 6. Yeah. I was like, so I was about to email the seller when I looked in, and what I thought was a receipt originally was a handwritten note. Now, NGK, same as the factory. As a matter of fact, the boxes have Japanese writing on them. The spark plugs, in fine print, have Japanese writing on them. Regular same plugs that it left the factory with. Okay? Oh, Japanese writing on there. The note stated, after filling the order, he only had 2 plugs left in stock. And being a 27-year-old vehicle, he does not get a big call for these spark plugs. So, he gave me the last 2 that he had in stock as a free gift and a thank you for purchasing from him. Stuff like this is unheard of today. Everybody is so goddamn greedy. Like I say, the auto parts stores wanted $35 to $40 for 4 plugs. $14.95 plus tax, of course, and free shipping from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He is a factory licensed parts facility through Nissan. Now, very easily, he could have left them 2 plugs on the shelf. And maybe one day, a guy'd come in and he'd say, hey, I got a misfire. Do you have one of these plugs? But no. He sent them as a thank you for doing business with him. Needless to say, I gave him a glowing feedback on eBay and also sent him a thank you email. Because you don't find people like this nowadays. You know, back in the day, of course, inflation has killed a lot of the giveaways. But 90% of your bakeries would give you an extra donut if you bought a dozen. Hence the term for 13 donuts, a baker's dozen. Now, you very rarely go into a donut shop and see a price per dozen. No, it's per donut. The one day I went to that Punk Me Donuts, you know, and had I got a dozen French crullers, which I love. Oh my God, I love French crullers. It would have cost me $15 for a dozen. Because believe me, Grumpy could eat a dozen French crullers. I love them doing that. Yeah, it's per donut price now. Back in the day, we used to have a donut shop called Amy Joy. Amy Joy Donuts. And they would give you, if you bought a dozen, a baker's dozen. You would get your dozen, and the clerk would always say, what do you want for number 13? And a dozen donuts back then was like $2.50. Now, even if you buy them little donuts about that big, they're like $4 for a dozen. Let alone get a donut. Killed it for me, and very rarely do you see French crullers. Used to be able to, nope. I can get glazed or plain, what they call a fry cake, or a donut I really enjoy, sour cream, but no French crullers. Mm-mm. Haven't seen French crullers in ages. Of course, I don't go to bakeries. But even the supermarkets, French cruller? That's why I could easily eat a dozen, because I haven't had them in so long. As promised, the Sony Mavica Family Cam. If I can get it out of the camera case. Oh, dinky dipshit lens. Right there. That's where the floppy disk goes. LCD screen. But I mean, all plastic. Yeah. All plastic. All plastic. Digital still camera. All plastic. But it wasn't cheap. But like I said, Grumpy always has to have two. One is good, two is better. But there it is. The Mavica Family Cam. The Mavica Family Cam. No longer available at your local photo shop. Not available at your local camera dealer. One of these days, I'll bring the other one out. And we'll do a side-by-side, because the other one's got that nice big focal lens, and the LCD screen, it moves so that you can hold the camera and flip the screen so that you don't have to... Yeah. This is the FD88. But I told you I'd show it to you. But for being an all plastic, it takes amazing photographs. It really does. I had my doubts when I bought it. And I used to deal with Dodd camera. And the salesman told me, if you don't like it, bring it back. Matter of fact, he told me, try it for 30 days. Just make sure you keep the box and them. And at the end of 30 days, if you don't like it, bring it back. No questions asked. That was another reason I really liked dealing with Dodd camera. First of all, most knowledgeable people on earth. Those guys ate, drank, slept, and breathed cameras. There was nothing they didn't know about a camera. When I bought my Fujifilm Fine Pigs, that guy rattled off everything except the little Japanese guy that built it. He knew everything. Everything. Of course, you know, when you're in the business of selling cameras, you better know everything. But they were. Carried every accessory for a camera known to man, which I still have a lot. Another place that got a lot of Grumpy's money, Port-a-Brace and Dodd Camera. They used to be just over on Denison. I don't think that neighborhood's kind of one, but I don't think they're there anymore. I think their only location is downtown. And Grumpy don't go downtown. You know, not like the song, Downtown. Years ago, not now. Yeah. There were a lot of bars in the flats that got a lot of Grumpy's money. Yeah. Fagan's, for one. Although, Fagan's, that was the place to go. When I worked for the county at the Title Bureau, Friday night, especially if the weather was chilly or snowy, they had a big fireplace. They get a roaring fire going. And they had this big, huge, overstuffed leather couch. And we used to do something kind of nasty. Every Friday, now there were 8 of us that used to go every Friday. We would put 8 names in a container and draw one. That person got to sneak out of work 15 minutes early, because that person would then race down to Fagan's and reserve the couch. Yep. Because, see, the crowd didn't start to filter in until like around 5:30. Well, the Title Bureau closed at 4:30. So we would have one person at 4:15 beat feet down the hill to Fagan's to reserve the couch. And it was nice having an adult beverage sitting on the overstuffed couch in front of a roaring fire. Those were the days. I miss those days. It was, like I say, a little piece of heaven. Getting a big adult beverage in front of the fire, and then getting another big adult beverage in front of the fire. And we'd get pretty cranked. On Friday nights, Grumpy would take all the back roads home. All I had to do was get over the Detroit Superior Bridge. Come up out of the flats. Because once I got over the bridge on the West 25th, I could zigzag all the back streets home to avoid them flashing lights. Yeah. And then they started to get smart. Because there was only two ways to get in and out. And on Friday night, they would set up DUI checkpoints. So what I would do, I would hoof it down to the flats if it was my turn to reserve the couch and leave my car in the county parking lot. And that way we would walk up the hill, and then I would kind of zigzag out of the parking lot, take West 3rd up to Superior, hang the right turn over the bridge to West 25th, and zigzag home. Because Grumpy didn't want to get a DUI. Because I would have really tilted the blow in this machine, Mr. Grumpy. Oops. I didn't know them son of a bitches could explode. Yeah, well, see, the machine runs on electric current, and you're blowing nothing but pure alcohol through it. Yeah, that's why you blew the fucker up. Yep. Grumpy was bad when, of course, when we were in our 20s, that's what it was. Party, party. But only on Friday. That was only on Friday. But boy, did we have a good time. Oh, I miss Fagan's. I miss it a lot. But time passes. We get old. Old. 72. What I wouldn't give to be 22 again. Hard to believe. 50 years ago. 50 years ago. I was sitting in that nice overstuffed leather couch on Friday night at Fagan's. 50 years ago. Where the fuck did time go? It just hit me now. That was 50 years ago. Yeah. It just come to me. Well, I'm like 22, 72. Oh. 50. Wow. Time flies. Too fast. 50 years. I'm going to have to take a ride one day down in the flats and just see if there's anything down there anymore. I know they bulldozed almost everything that was there. Another place I used to enjoy was a restaurant where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is. It was called Captain Frank's. If you walked out the back door of Captain Frank's and you weren't paying attention, your hat would start to float. That's how close they were to the lake. And they had this aquarium behind the cash register. It had so much goddamn algae in it, you couldn't see the one fish that was in it. Yeah. Real ambiance. Hey, look at that algae-filled aquarium over there with one fish. But the food was decent, and the prices were decent. I used to go there a lot. Usually on Wednesdays, because they used to have what they called the Blue Plate Special, which I don't understand how it got its name because it never came on a blue plate. And most of the time, the Blue Plate Special on Wednesday would be crab cakes. And I'll tell you, they made the best crab cakes, in my opinion, and very reasonably priced, and generous too. So Wednesday night, there was usually 4 of us. We would go to dinner at Captain Frank's. And it was usually with one of the ladies I worked with. And they had some sharp ladies. Grumpy kind of regrets not really hooking on to the one. Yeah. She was a cutie. And she had the hots for Grumpy. Believe it or not, yeah. Woman had the... Her name was Barbara. I'm not going to say the last name, but Barbara. She was a little doll. Oh, I'll tell you, could I embarrass her? And she would turn redder than these lights. It was hilarious. Sometimes all I had to do was look at her. Red. Yeah. I still to this day don't know why I let that one go. Because it was interesting. The first week that I worked at the Title Bureau, now you're just getting to know your coworkers. Friday night rolls along, and this was January, February, still hot and cold. She invites me to Fagin's. Oh. Now, Grumpy did not know what a Fagin's was. I said, what's a Fagin's? Adult beverage, fireplace, couch. Oh, okay. And we were an item for a long time. I still, to this day, don't know why I let that one go. You're young and stupid. Yeah, I was stupid 4 times. All right, Duck. I hear you laughing. You and Tim. I hear the two of you laughing. Yeah. Duck. You'll get yours. I'm going to blow the siren next time I pass you. Tim is lucky. He doesn't live in the neighborhood. You, I'll get you for laughing. I hear you laughing right now. If I look close enough, yeah, I can see you. Sitting in your living room, laughing your ass off. Yeah, grumpy old man. I hear the both of you. I hear yous. Although, Tim, I know where you work. You don't want me to stop up there. You know Grumpy. I'm going to make a list. your names are going on it. Right now. While I think about it. On my fancy schmancy Harley Davidson diamond plate notepad. Your names are both going on it. Not right now. When I finish. Aluminum diamond plate Harley Davidson notepad. You and Duck, Timmy, your names are going to be on this list. Laughing at the old man. I still hear you. Both of you, you're still laughing. Yeah. Then when I did the run back this morning, damn thing's freezing up again. I just changed the damn graphics card. Now I gotta look into why it's hanging up. And there aren't that many programs in that computer. But yeah, last night, all of a sudden, hear the voice going, ain't no movement, Grumpy's frozen. That was the reason I changed the graphics card. Unless the damn graphics card is going haywire. Piss me off. About halfway through, all of a sudden, voice is going. Then all of a sudden I move, and then it freezes again. I was going to mess with it today, and I was like, screw it. Plus, I can't remember where I put the old graphics card. I think it's over under my workbench. Yeah, that was the reason I spent the money for a graphics card. Because it was hanging up with the other one. Then yesterday. Pissed me off. Because the next step up ain't cheap. The next step up graphic card costs more than what I paid for this refurbished computer with Windows 10 Pro. Oh, it just irritated the shit out of me. Oh, I see that hard drive like flashing away. Yeah, about halfway through the stream. Irritate the shit out of me. But it isn't bad enough. The graphics card gives. Then I get. And then I was given the ultimatum from the front office. Monday, I have to introduce the show as the Grumpy Vulture Show in a beak and a top hat. I told them that costume better not have feathers. Yeah, Monday. Welcome to the Grumpy Vulture Show. And the damn bird will be sitting right here. And I gotta wear a costume and a beak and a top hat. Although, like I say, I'm kind of warming up to that top hat. But the beak, I'm liable to grab that bird and twist his beak. Yeah, management said, you've let it go long enough. You owe it to him. Because I hurt his little birdie feelings. Matter of fact, his name is going on that list too. Duck Timmy Bird. Yeah. Monday. Welcome to the Grumpy Vulture Show. Beak. Top hat. Costume. But no outros. I didn't draw on the line. Plus, he wants to sit here while I do the shows from now on. I said, fine. You ain't saying nothing, or I'll twist your little beak. Yeah, he wants to sit here, right here, with his little beak. Damn bird. Oh, I gotta blame myself. I was the one that said, oh, it could be cute having a vulture. Yeah. I said, no cute little kitties, no little puppies. Let's get an ugly fucking looking vulture. Yeah. That idea backfired. Hurt his little birdie feelings. He's lucky he's not here right now. I'd be holding him by his beak. Go ahead, try and breathe. But see, I can't do that. Because Big Brother is watching. Yeah, management has a monitor. Hi, assholes. Did I say that? I didn't mean it. Sorry. Not sorry. Assholes. Like it says on the sign, assholes. That's you guys in the front office. What are you going to do to me? Give the show to the bird? You ain't threatening me. I can go anywhere. I have a following now. At least 40 subscribers. I haven't checked. You want me to take them 40 people with me? Just go ahead. Piss me off. You'll lose 40 people. They won't be watching the They're here for me, not the bird. So, Monday, costume, beak, top hat. Yeah. I told him, I ain't wearing the beak for the whole show. No. Maybe the costume, unless it's got feathers. Then, at the end of the show, that's where the costume will go. And I'll really hurt the little birdie's feelings. Oh, my money. He's burning up my money. I spent my money on that. So I'm warning you, bird. I know you're lurking around the studio somewhere. If that costume has feathers at the end of Monday's show, it's done. Yeah. And with that, friends, I think Grumpy's going to call it a show. And just remember, Duck and Timmy, your name's going on that Harley Davidson diamond plate notepad. Yeah. And with that, I will chat with you tomorrow. What happened to the tomorrow? The off